Hello, good morning and welcome. We'll start as ever with the Australian dollar Swiss franc. If you watched part one, you will have seen, how I'm expecting the Australian dollar to turn. So basically, the divergent short of 5 to 1, I'm expecting that to turn round and actually increase to the downside. So I'm looking for quite a lot more downside from this pair. We've got a little bit resistance just above at around and above the 77 mark. So I'm expecting that to turn down over the next couple of weeks. Australian dollar, Japanese yen, basically the same thing. Uh, we've um, we've got a little bit of resistance where it is at the moment. Bottom of these candles over here, tops over there. You can see the resistance building up. So I think we might see a bit of downside from where we are at the moment. The RSI is actually pointing up. I need it to turn down and go below the 50, and that'll give us a bit of a sense that it's coming down a bit. This is the Canadian dollar Swiss franc. Um, Again, we've got a little bit of resistance just above where we are at the moment. We've got a divergent short, quite healthy at 10.2 to 1. I am expecting more weakness in the oil price, and we've got quite a lot of strength showing for the Swiss franc. So we are below the 50 on the RSI, which is nice, and we've got a bit of a green candle this morning, just giving us a bit of a tilt up, but hopefully that'll fade during the day. Uh, Basically the same thing, Canadian dollar, Japanese yen. I am expecting more strength for the yen. It's come down a lot. We've dropped quite a lot of pips here, and it hasn't really bounced a little bit back up. So give it a couple more days, and I think this is going to continue down. Hopefully, we are anyway below the 50 on the RSI, which is good, but only just. So I could just do with this candle turning down a little bit today. So there we go. Euro Swiss franc, a short divergence of 11.1 to 1. This is a weekly chart, so we go back onto the daily. Um, the euro has actually just come off the boil a little bit today. As far as I'm concerned, it is way overvalued. And we'll see where it goes. But basically, I'm expecting this pair to short. We've got quite a strong divergence short of 11 to 1, and we're starting to turn down on the RSI. So we'll see where that goes to. Euro Japanese yen. Wasn't expecting this sudden upturn, but we have a short divergence, very healthy, of 14.9 to 1, largest we've had for a couple of weeks. So I'm expecting that to make a move back down. It's tried a couple of times to go higher, but yeah, I think we should see more weakness on this pair towards the end of the week. Pound Swiss franc. Short divergence of only 3.8 to 1, but the pound has a small ratio anyway, short to long. So on percentage change, that actually increases the strength a little bit. We'll see if this can go lose a little bit of strength. But I only have one small trade in it, so there you go. Pound Japanese yen. It is up at resistance at the moment. This is fairly strong. This is a monthly turning point. We had this nice move down at this level a couple of months ago. So we'll see if this can. Or I'm not expecting this to go any higher. So we need a bit of bad news on Brexit to help a bit. Euro, pound, as you probably know if you've been watching, I've had this trade on for some time. It's not actually, go away Bloomberg, it's not actually done a lot over the last 3 or 4 months. So we are turning down at the moment on the RSI, and I want it to move below the 50, get down there. This is platinum. Um, as you can see, as the pound, the dollar has gone down in value, with the platinum has gone up in price. It is now on the RSI. We're just about to cut the trend line, and we are towards a little bit of resistance. We're just coming up to the bottoms of these candles here. I don't know. I think I would leave it a few days on this one, but it does look quite a nice short. There is quite a long way there for it to go down. Turkish lira, Japanese yen. Um, Whoops, daisies. Yeah, Turkish lira, Japanese yen. This has come down over the last few days. Had a bit of a move down, so we'll see where that goes. But really, it should continue on down. Put a fairly shallow trend line on the Japanese on the RSI, and just as long as it stays below the 50, I think this should be a good sell. USD, Hungarian forint. We've seen this move down. We've come down below the 30.9, and we're just about to come back up and cut the trend line. I believe this should be a fairly good buy at this level. USD, Czechoslovakian krone. Same thing really. We're seeing the weakness in the dollar has driven this move short, and we're now expecting strength back into the dollar. This is the ZAR Japanese yen. I showed you this earlier this month, so I'm expecting this support where it is at the moment to break and for it to move further down. This is palladium, right? Unexpected weakness in the dollar, so the price has shot up, which has been a bit of a pain, but I am expecting a turn back down now. So same old thing. We've got the candles making a higher high, but we haven't really got a higher high on the RSI. So I'm expecting this to break back down. We're just coming down through the 69.1. We'll see where that goes to. The RSI trend line has been cut for oil at about 64. It might just have made 65. Where are we over here? Nearly made 65 on the high to the day, 64.7. So hopefully this is going to break down. I could do with it. Okay, well, that's it for today. So thank you very much for watching. Hopefully see you again tomorrow. Cheers. Bye now. Hello, good morning and welcome. It's Tuesday, the 16th of January, and it's just after 7 o'clock. We'll start as ever with the AUD USD. If we look quickly just at the DXY, we can see we've got a little bit of a pullback on the dollar, a little bit of strength. If you noticed on the way down, when it opened, it sort of gapped down, and here again we've got another bit of a gap down. I know the tails overlap, but you've got the gap down, and here where we've opened, we've actually had a gap up. So that looks like we're going to get a bit more strength in the dollar, which will be good news for all the majors. So we'll look at the Australian dollar first. Little bit of a red candle at the top here. I've put my trend line up. I think we're going to have a few more days before we really see a lot of downside in this. We've come up really nicely above resistance, and we need to cut back down really sharply. So moving on to the pound US dollar. Again, it's shown a little bit of weakness at the top here. We've come up above the 69.1 on the RSI, and we are starting to move back down. So we'll just wait a couple of days, see how that goes. Commercial ratio on this is 1.4 to 1. So we are fairly bearish on the commitment of traders, more in percentage change over the year rather than having a high ratio short to long. Same with the euro. Again, we have a short ratio of only 1.8, but bearing in mind the percentage change over 1 year or 5 years, We have quite a large percentage change, but it's nice to see this coming off the highs, and we have gone up. Gone up on the RSI, hit the underneath of the trend line. Now we're bouncing back down, and I really want to see it move down below this 69.1 and also break the trend line. The US dollar, Canadian dollar. We have a short ratio of 1.8 to 1 for the Canadian dollar. That is not that large. And you know, we're down here back on support, and I'm looking really to Friday to make my mind up. I think I don't think we're going to go below the support. To be quite honest, I think we're going to bounce back up on this. US dollar, Swiss franc. Same thing, you can see the strength on the dollar coming through. We have had a very nice drop on this pair. We've got a commercial long ratio of 3.5 to 1, which is greatly reduced from last week. Last week we were about 5 to 1. We've seen the RSI come down, hit the 30.9, and we're just slightly popping up at the moment. But I do expect a little bit of strength coming through for the dollar, because it has lost a lot over the last 4 or 5 days. USD, Japanese yen. Well, we've come down nicely. We've hit the 30.9, having a little bit of a rest, but it hasn't actually bounced back that far. We've got a little bit of resistance above us at the moment now, and we have quite a large 5.3 to 1 long ratio on the commitment of traders. So we might hang here for a couple of days. We are on a very small bit of support just here, top of the candles over here. So we'll see how that goes, but I think this should continue on down. New Zealand dollar, US dollar. Well, it's just been an upward trend. To be quite honest, this is one of the nice trends. I wish I could have caught this, but I prefer this pair short. So I got out of my trades at the bottom here, the red line, which I did quite well there, and we're now waiting for it to turn back down. But over the next few days, I think it might well make it up to this 73, 74 mark. So we have actually crossed the line on the RSI. So I'm going to actually move this over a bit, because I don't see that as that convincing. Wow, there we go. Sorry, there we go. Nice one. Okay, so we now have a reduced long ratio of 1.9 to 1 on the commercials. So we'll expect a little bit of a turnaround in this. We'll see how it goes over the next few days. Silver, we've come up, we've hit resistance up here. I think we're going to see a turnaround in this now. It's looking fairly bearish on the commercials, and we're looking. It has in fact made a higher high on the candle charts, and it hasn't really gone a lot higher on the RSI, which means I think they're getting a little bit tired. So I'm expecting this to turn around a little bit now. We'll see how it goes on the next few days. DXY, the dollar against the basket of currencies. It does look a little bit like it's bottomed out there. Let's just put it on a weekly chart and see if we can spot any support where it is. We can't go back far enough. Okay, well, not enough history to do that, but it does look to me like it's coming back up through the 30.9, and I do expect this to gain more strength over the next few weeks. Okay, well, that's it for today. Thank you very much for watching. Hopefully see you again tomorrow. Cheers, bye now.